It seems like whatever creative pursuits you're into and whatever medium you like to work in, there's always a bunch of little tiny objects that need sorting and organizing. Today I have for you a couple of products that you might find helpful in doing that. Hi there, Sandy here. Welcome to another Friday Findings video at keepsakecrafts.net. So the nice folks at Beebeecraft sent along some of their organizing containers for me to try out. And I had some thoughts about how these can best be used in a system. I don't know if you know this about me, but my very first blog was on organizing, not on crafting at all. I love organizing. And also I'm a very visual person. Artistically, I like to be able to see things. So these containers are really going to be awesome. Let me show you what I'm going to use them for. So this is a photo box. You can get these at places like Michael's for a couple dollars. And this is one of my major ways of organizing in my studio. I have these boxes. They don't go any more than 2 high on my shelves, and I have them labeled with things. Like I have one for silver wire, silver and silver colored wire, and that way I can chuck it all in there. It's not too micro-organized. This one is Polymer clay inclusions, which can include a lot of things. Yeah, this needs a little help because we've got, let's see, little dried chili peppers, which a friend gave me, rocks of various kinds, clock parts, micro beads, steampunk stuff, foils. Let's see, more steampunk, foil, herbs, which are a wonderful polymer clay inclusion. I also have beads. These were sent to me in something, but I never use them. Now, I thought this would be a terrific organizing system because you have them all in here. But there's a problem. Look at how many I have in here. And they're all different. This one is doubled. This one has polymer clay dragon parts. There's feet and teeth and scales and ears. This is Swarovski flat backs. Oh, and then here's some more. I think these are nail art crystals. Oh, we've got Angelina fibers, more micro beads. These are eyeballs, pre-baked polymer clay eyeballs. Can you see the problem? Although these seem like really good organizers, they're hard to keep sorted. Another problem that I have with these, like this is a very nice selection of crystals that I was sent in something. I think it was part of a kit. And I never ever use them because the container is blue. Same with the pink one and the yellow one. I thought it would be a terrific idea, but I have to A, dig through this box to find anything, and then B, I don't know what it is. I kind of, well, these ones are labeled, but even so, it's nice to know the size, but I still have to pop them open to see, oh, those are clear. Oh, these are blue. It's just annoying, so I don't use it, which is where these come in. I think this is going to be awesome. Like I said, this is a product you can get at Beebeecraft. You get this case, and then fitting inside the case, you get 7 of these. And I think this is just perfect. It doesn't have too much space in each one. If you want to get everything out of one, you can just close all the rest and dump them out into a dish or a beading tray. You can pull out just the ones you need. I think this is going to be fantastic for all of these things. And then they'll all be together. I don't know about you. If you're creative, you're at least somewhat visual, most likely. And although labels are wonderful, and having the sizes on here is very helpful, I need to see things. I not just read a label, I need to see it, and then I can envision it in a piece of work or make a judgment as to how it's going to work. So being able to look at something like this and scan the whole thing for exactly what I want, and having both containers clear so that I can just glance at it and say, oh, that's the thing I need. I'm really looking forward to that. Now, not everything in here is going to work in these. Some of these things are bigger, like the Angelina. I also have a whole bunch of undrilled chips, which I had stored in a particular spot in my studio, and I never, ever used them. And I've seen a whole bunch of ideas lately for chips, and I'm like, oh, where are those chips? And I never pull them out because they're just in an awkward place. And that's where these containers come in. I like that they're not too big. Now, I will admit that I actually ordered these, and these come in a set of 4, by the way. I'll tell you more about the products in a minute. But I ordered these with something else in mind because I looked at the centimeter measurements, and I was thinking these were longer. I was thinking they were like 5 inches long and not... I forget what it was, but I was thinking they would be long enough for my strands of check fire polish beads. So make sure when you're shopping that you're looking at inches or centimeters and just double check those measurements. Honestly, I don't know why we aren't all into the metric system. When I was a kid in school, I was told that by the time I grew up that yeah, we'd all be in the metric system. So why aren't we? We should be. I think these are going to be awesome for storing these larger, bulkier things. Oh yeah, and then I have things like these. These are really nice little hotfix cabochons by Create Along, but they're all buried down. Here's some more. I think I have a few more. They're all buried down here. So I never find them, or I have to go digging for them, which... okay, sometimes it's part of the fun, but not always. So I am going to take a little time and go through all the stuff and sort it out and organize it into these containers. And just so you know what it is, I'll have links to both of these container sets on my blog post. This is the Panda Haul Elite 4-pack 5-grid jewelry divider box organizer. And it is $8.28 for 4 of them. And then this one comes in a set of 2 of these containers with 7 of the 4-cell containers in each. So this is the Panda Haul Elite 2-pack clear rectangle plastic box container case removable bead storage organizer with 28 small grids. They do pack all of the keywords into their descriptions. And it is $7.73 for these 2 containers. So whenever you're organizing something, it's best to first pull out everything. Really pull out everything. There. Now, of course, some things aren't going to go in there, like my leaf. I've got some foils. Some surprising things might go in there, though. I may fill, actually I'll do it right now, one of these sections with these because most likely I may never use all of these in a lifetime. And then I could store the rest somewhere else. But this way I can see them, I can access them, but store these somewhere else where they're a little bit more out of the way. But before I get too excited about storing things in here, let me sort out what I've got. Alright, so now I have these sorted and it's a little bit easier to see what I've got. So I've got all of these things that will go in the small containers, the little bitty ones, including these. These I think really don't need to be separated. They're already in a pretty good little sorting container. I've got rocks, I've got micro beads, which I think need to stay in the baggies, but maybe be sorted. I've got Angelina and some steampunk things. A lot of rocks. So often a good way of dealing with it is to kind of get your biggest things out of the way first. So I'm going to put these in separate piles. And let's start with the stones. And this is something I debated about whether or not to keep these in their containers, but like I said, I'm visual and I don't really need that information. These I know are sodalite, so I don't need that information. If I did, I might cut off the label and put it on the bottom underneath or something. Oh, doesn't that look pretty already? Oh, I love it. And these are, yeah, black tourmaline, which is something I already know. These bags are also old. I don't know if this is dated. I bought these. Oh, you know what? I bought these in 2015 when I was making my dragons because I had the idea to use them on the basis of some of the sculptures. Amethysts. Again, I can look at them and know that they're amethysts. And already, just looking at this in the container, I'm already so much more excited about using these because I can really see them. What are those? Red jasper. All right, so that one I am not so familiar with, so I think I might... And I'll cut that Fire Mountain part off too, so I'll remember I got them. Although I know I got them at Fire Mountain Gems. I'm just going to tuck that in there. And by the way, if you're a regular and you watch my videos every week, you might consider supporting this channel on Patreon. It does make a difference. It is a factor in whether or not this channel stays up on YouTube. So many thanks to those of you who are already supporting me on Patreon. We have a great time over at Patreon talking about creative ideas and concepts, and it's very encouraging to me to see the support and the enthusiasm from those who love my work. Don't forget that patrons have the opportunity to get up to 2 bonus videos every month. One thing I like about just the size and shape of these is it's very easy to get in there with your fingers and pull out a pinch or pull out what you need. Or you could go in with one of those little plastic scoops that you can get at the craft store. So already, just looking at these, I'm very excited about using them. I can see what they are. Those bags were getting kind of gross and you couldn't see the colors well through them. They were muted. But now I can see them. Another very inspiring sight, seeing the colors, and it's all just quite beautiful and easy to access instead of having to open one of these baggies every single time you want some, which is a pain. And there, isn't that just a box of gorgeousness, fun, and potential? One of the things I've learned about organizing over the years is that when you're buying containers, allow for expansion, like maybe 25 to 30% expansion. So if I have enough stuff to fill 3 of these, buy 4 or 5, because we're crafters. We're going to buy more stuff. It's just the way it is. It expands. No matter how much of it you use, it grows. So this is kind of some interesting random bits. Let's see. And at some point I might separate out the bigger ones from the smaller ones, but right now it's just nice to be able to dig through these. So it looks like this container will be my funky odd bits. And these are great little containers, but again, floating around in the bottom of a box, I just find them irritating. So I'm really happy with these. I've got them all filled up with goodies. I think I need to order at least one more set. That's another thing I've found over the years about organizing, is having a whole bunch of containers that are the same instead of having 43 different styles, because see, now these will stack nicely. You can fit them in a single area. You can certainly put a label somewhere, you know, if it's facing this way in a cabinet, you can label them Undrilled Chips, Angelina, Steampunk stuff. Labels are great, but I don't like to have to depend on them to know what's exactly is in there, I like to be able to look. So these will have to wait for another day to be sorted, because I'm not putting them in little itty bitty containers. In fact, the micro beads are not coming out of their baggies. They're going to have to be sorted in their baggies, because these are just too difficult to deal with otherwise. Oh, that's perfect. You can see what they are, and they're just easy to manage. These containers also, they're very easy to open upside down. If you've ever opened a jar of perfect pearls upside down, you know what I mean. Very annoying. So this is awesome, because now I have these Hot Fix cabochons by Create Along. I can see exactly what I have. And they're easy enough to access. As I get more, they can just be added to the container. I knew I heard one leap out. Yeah, there you. I could even separate these out into the different colors if I wanted. So I might separate out polymer clay things and jewelry things. If you want labels, but you want also to be able to see what you can, like I like knowing the sizes here, but what I'm going to do is put that on the bottom. And you might have to print new labels. Sometimes these don't survive being moved, but it seems to be doing okay. I don't know anybody who needs a bunch of pill-a-day containers, because I'm not going to be using these. I'm so much happier already just knowing that my things are in clear containers and that they're all corralled together in this one container. Another thing I like about this organizing system, like if you have a container that had all these little tiny spaces molded into it, first of all, it would be very difficult to go in there and get out any one thing, but it would also be easy to bump the whole thing and make quite a mess. So I like that these are all contained within. So after sorting everything I could into the 6 containers I have, I would say, I hope you agree, that my box is looking a little bit easier to go through and get at everything I need and find it. I did decide to take my foils and leaf and such and store them in a binder system. I mean, already look how this has gotten crinkled and folded. This really isn't a good way to store these. I already have my silk screens and stencils stored in a binder. If you're interested in learning more about that, let me know in the comments below, and I'll do a Friday Findings video on that. Share your favorite tip for sorting the little bitty things in the comments below. So I'm really happy with this organizing, and I think I need to order a few more of these boxes for other little things throughout my studio. Happy creating. Bye-bye.